Derek, you got off to a great start. You're up 2-0 in that game, but your offense really struggled.
Yeah, we did. We had a real bad stretch there. Second quarter for about 6 minutes, and we just couldn't stem the tide. And I think the way to stem that tide is by getting a goal, and we just went stagnant there for a while. And we just, I don't know what it is. We had a great first quarter. In fact, I thought we really outplayed them for probably a quarter and a half, and that last 6 or 7 minutes of the second ultimately was the game. And I think especially the two goals late, goals 7 and 8, we could have tolerated and withstood probably a 6-3 halftime, but we had a possession with 38 seconds to go that we shot early on and we shouldn't have, and ultimately we run that clock down to 7-8 seconds and they've got it, and the chances are we're going to go into halftime at 6-3, and that was just a poor decision on offense, and we can't have that because at the end of the day we really did battle back, and if we battle back to a 2-goal lead instead of a 4-goal lead in the fourth quarter there, I think we actually got it to 11-8, and then it's really a 1-goal lead, and that's a different game, and that was a mental error we made, and we can't have that. So, and again, it goes back to playing 60 minutes, and again I felt in that stretch where the 6 or 7 minutes on offense, we got back to our old habits of trying to get everything back in one possession instead of being patient, and it seems to be an old story with this group this year.
Sounds a bit of frustration, Derek. Once again, at times your offense seemed to just get frustrated, and we're taking a lot of shots from ill-advised places on the floor.
Yeah, I am frustrated with the group. I think we have a good offensive group. I think we got a little bit of everything, and skill and speed and finish and perimeter presence, but just making poor decisions and not getting that 100% buy-in from everybody. And it's got to be everybody. It can't be 6 of 7. It's got to be 7 of 7, and it's got to be every shift. And we've shown signs of it, and the evidence has been there, and that's what is frustrating for me, is when we show that we play that way and we buy into our principles and our system, we can be really good. And, we can show film on it all day long, and the guys go, yeah, that works, and then we get into a game and it changes. So we need to get back to that again this weekend, and we got 4 huge games left, 3 at home, and with still a great opportunity in front of us here.
Derek Keenan, head coach and GM of the Rush, joins us. Derek, you talk about guys buying in. As a coach in that situation, in hockey you have 4 lines. If one of your top guys isn't going, you can move somebody up. In lacrosse, you really only have 7 offensive guys, 3 on one side, 4 on the other. You have 5 on the floor at all times. Benching's really not an option. Has it gotten to that point where you might have to sit a guy down for a few shifts at least?
Yeah, I think even going forward, we need to look at some other options. We've got some versatile back-end guys like a Johnny LaFontaine, a Jarrett Toll, even a Steve Toll, who are more than capable of playing offense, and I think we need to look at those options. And at the end of the day, I look at statistically on Saturday, and Zach Greer had 3 shots, Ryan Ward had 7, and scored 3, and he was a major factor in that game, and simply didn't get the ball enough in his stick. And I think really the last 3 weeks, I think Ryan Ward's probably been our best player along with Zach Greer, and we haven't got him the ball enough. Same with Aaron Wilson. So we do need to look at some other options from within. We can't do anything outside of our roster, what we have right now. So we'll look at some things moving forward this week, and without a major disruption, and keeping in mind that we're still, it's really aside from 2 teams, Colorado and Calgary, who are seem to be running away with it. Everybody else is kind of in the same boat, finding it hard to win consistently. So we're still very much in the mix, and so we need to just find the right chemistry out there on offense and play consistently and try and get everybody to execute on the same page for 60 minutes, and I think we're going to be in good shape here.
Derek, for the crossover, would you have to have more? Could you be tied, let's say, with Buffalo at the same record, or would you actually have to have more points than them to cross over into the East?
I think it could be tied if we beat them head to head.
Okay,
I think that's the way it would work, and that would be the first tiebreaker would be head to head. So that's the way that would work, and that's the only crossover, of course, is the West into the East. If a Western team had a better record than the fourth place team in the East, would be the crossover. So.
And you've got the Bandits who come in this weekend, Saturday night at Rexall Place. And, they're a team that's coming off a huge victory. They scored 17 goals. They looked for a while there that, their offense was stagnant and anemic. What did you see from the tape? I'm guessing you've already broken down after the weekend that all of a sudden maybe concerns you about them.
Yeah, they're another team that's been kind of a little, like us, inconsistent, and they've had their ups and downs. And I thought on Saturday, though, they actually ran the floor very well. It hasn't been a real strong point of theirs this year, but they really caught Philadelphia in transition a lot and on turnovers, and they finished their chances in transition. And of course, John Tavares at 43 years old, you just can't give him shots, and he's one of those guys that you always say make him be a one-on-one guy. Don't let him be a feeder or a shooter, and you get really good matchups on him, which we'll try to do. But he's just seems to be able to find seams and gaps all the time to be able to get shots off. And watching that game on Saturday, he really didn't have that many shots, but he scored four goals, 4 assists. Now the other thing too is he's got 19 power play goals. They're the number one power play unit in the league, and so we need to stay out of the box, which we've really been pretty good. We've been pretty disciplined. I think they only had 4 power plays on Saturday, which isn't bad. But we need to stay out of the box and not allow them to beat us in a power play game. That is for sure. But they still have a lot of weapons on offense. Tavares being the big one, and a pretty strong right side. Luke Wiles has had a good year for them, and Koleski hasn't played the last 2 games, been injured, but he may be back. So, but they'll play pressure defense against us. We have a pretty good idea how to break that down, although we didn't do a very good job of it in Toronto. But we're gonna be in for it though, because they're as desperate as we are, and it's going to be a tough game for us.
Well, Derek, best of luck on Saturday night. You do have a winning record at home. You become a pretty good team at home. Obviously, your road struggles since the first road game of the year. Any answer to that? Why you were so dominant your first road game? You won 16-5, but since then you haven't been able to get a victory.
Yeah, I don't know. We haven't played poorly on the road, really. It's hard to say. I think really, other than probably the Minnesota game, we didn't play very well on the road, and that was an overtime loss. But in the 7-minute stretch there in Toronto, it's funny. I really felt in Toronto with probably more than half of our roster living in the area, we would have been fresh and that. And I thought we were. We just had a bad stretch there, and then we couldn't get our offense going. So, but like you said, good thing is 3 of our last 4 at home. I think we played pretty well at home. We seem to have good energy, and the fans have been great. So we look forward to that on Saturday night.
Derek, we'll see you at the rink on Saturday. Thanks for your time.
All right, thanks.